Welcome to the Filmistines, the double feature podcast. Join us as we unravel the interwoven experience and the continuous conversation of cinema. Take part in pairing movies with their cursed counterparts, movies that share DNA, or even pairing questionable duos by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, with a $5 tier grant the ability to request films to further the discussion. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready to join the 100-year conversation. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience.
They're an experience.
All around you. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you guys for joining us today. I'm joined today by my wishing in one hand, shitting in the other, and see what comes out first kind of friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone. Just for clarity's sake, I do not shit in one hand.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with brand new episodes of the Filmistines over on Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. Some recent episodes include Anatomy of a Fall, May, December, The New Color Purple, Gigi's Little Women, and our 2024 Oscar nomination reaction, sort of. There's a little discussion about the nominations. Remember to leave nice comments, thoughts, and ideas over on our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. Go request a movie, please.
Please. Are you stressed and filled with anxiety like I am? Maybe in a bit of pain from that car accident you had a few years ago? Well, the sponsor of today's episode, Hempville CBD, has us covered. They have the highest quality products created by chemists and doctors. Hempville carries everything from CBD to THC dispensary grade without those despicable dispensary prices. Order your Delta 8, 9 edibles and vapes along with the THCA flower and get free shipping when you spend $50 or more at hempvillecbd.com. Check out the link in the description for more details.
But today we are discussing Disney's celebratory film of 2023, celebrating the 100 years of Disney, I guess. Wish. Directed and written by our Frozen guys, the guys who did Frozen. Chris Buck and a newcomer, I guess, Fawn Veerasunthorn.
That's interesting that Chris Buck wrote Frozen and directed.
He actually just directed with Jennifer Lee, and Jennifer Lee wrote Frozen 1 and 2.
Okay, so he was a co-director.
Yeah, and they're back at it, I guess, with Allison Moore. I didn't see her name.
It always seems like there's two directors with Disney films. I never really paid attention to that. I guess when we covered Elemental, I think there were two on there too. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, maybe it's because, I mean, to be honest, it seems like a lot of these big, like, Disney caliber animated productions are more about managing than bringing, you know, a personality or style to the film itself.
Yeah, because Disney's the personality and the style.
And I think they go kind of above and beyond to make sure you know that, especially with things like Marvel and Star Wars.
There it is. We haven't brought up Marvel in a while.
Well, Marvel's the worst offender of it because they just insist on hiring people who have never directed or trying to fit, you know, people who want to get that big paycheck like Taika Waititi and trying to fit that creative prowess to just an impossible mold. Did you like Frozen 2? I know you liked Frozen 1.
I did not like Frozen 2.
Okay, because I was wondering if you were destined to like this in some way or another.
No, Frozen 2 just lacks so much of the care that went into Frozen 1, I think. Frozen 1 was phenomenal. I think I saw Frozen like 5 times at the movie theater. Just with seeing it with different people and because I wanted to go see it with different people. I mean, it was such I don't want to say it was such a new idea, but it was such a fun movie to watch. And there was so much there from the soundtrack to the lovable characters that, I mean, Frozen was amazing. And we just dropped the bomb on Frozen 2.
Is Asha a new Disney princess?
I don't think so. I don't think she's a new Disney princess. I'm sure we're going to talk about her and just what place she has here in the world of Disney and maybe what she represents in this movie. But I don't think she's a new Disney princess.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to report back. that Wish is, by maybe only one magnitude, a little overhated, but very vanilla. But still, it's okay. It's okay. It seemed like this movie got a weird amount of hate. And I think I know why, and I'm kind of curious what you think about why that is. But what do you think of Wish?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a big hit. In my opinion, I don't know if we've had a big hit since Encanto, but I'm with you. It was okay. It was a cute homage to their 100-year celebration, and there were plenty of cute, maybe a little too overbearing or maybe kind of weak, but cute nonetheless Easter eggs with Bambi and Peter Pan and of course Snow White. So I like that. I like that they inserted that. I mean, Disney's notorious for putting Easter eggs in their movies, but this is one of the first films that really puts it in your face, and I don't know if I like that. You know, like in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, we saw Belle in the city walking away, and that was pretty cool. That's something that you don't catch unless someone tells you about it. So we were missing a little bit of that surprise or mystery, maybe. Even though there were others that I liked, the story was just a little too weak for me. It wasn't super developed, or maybe it was just a little too simple. You know, wish upon a star. But it was okay. It did what it needed to do. It paid their homage, their respects to what Disney has done over the years. You know, it didn't need to be this over-the-top big film to do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of two minds, not too far apart in any radical way, I guess, but I do really appreciate the short runtime. It's a very nice callback to old feature films, and I do like the simplicity of the story, although I think it's a little rocky here and there, and how we get from point A to point B in a couple places, like some of your old princess-oriented movies. And I think it's maybe a little obvious, but I think the major standout of this movie is its art style. And I mean, I gotta give Disney props for trying something new in that way, and I think there's a lot of fun use of a mostly kind of watercolor background in most scenes.
Yeah, it definitely felt very storybookish. I did feel like it ran a little too fast with Elemental's art style. So I feel like it was maybe a little inspired by that and just kind of ran with it. Because Elemental had a very similar feel of art style, but not quite as storybook as this. So some of the movement here, especially with the contrast between how they moved versus their hair, was pretty cool to see.
It's kind of funny to bring up these little like Easter eggs and cameos within Disney films because, you know, they're notorious for it. And when you're a kid, there's a little bit of mystery magic in that. You know, especially when you're a kid, man. Like, it's...
Yes. The first one I ever noticed was the Pizza Planet truck in Monsters, Inc. I mean, that's notorious.
It's mind-blowing.
Yes. It's awesome. Noticing that as a kid is fucking awesome. You're like, oh, you can do this?
I guess, I mean, saying that, it's a little sad to see how over the top they think they need to go for a 100-year celebratory thing. It's just a little much. And it starts to become, the film starts to become this, can you identify the cameo in this composition? Can you identify the reference in this dialogue? It's just like, we're getting a little lost in what brought the entire universe to this moment in this movie, you know, and it's a lot of what helped lay the foundation of early animation. And it feels like a game.
Like an I Spy game?
Yeah, like an I Spy game. The only reference or homage that I liked was her friends, you know, representing the dwarves. That was the only one I liked. I mean, especially like dialogue referential shit. It's just, man, come on. You've already got like a 1 hour and 20 minute runtime. Like, we don't need to waste any moment on this.
Yeah.
But all in all, it is at the very least as good as a lot of Disney stuff has been lately.
I mean, it's way better than Lightyear.
Yeah, it's better than Lightyear.
A million times better than Lightyear.
It's better than Elemental, I think. Does this movie feel creatively bankrupt? Do we really have to have a totalitarian, fascist-oriented guy who's taking people's dreams and then with the promise that maybe, someday your dream will come true? Throw in a big dash of Disney references and have this inspired hero start a revolution. All right, that's it.
It felt a little lazy.
It's a little lazy.
It's like, okay, all right. But it goes back to that simplicity that...
But with simplicity, you need personality in your characters. And we didn't have an ounce of personality in these characters.
Yeah, you're right. Besides the seven dwarfs representations.
We had the old adage of a clown wearing your dad's clothes. It's like, that's not my dad. That's a clown.
It was a little savage, though. I will say that. Him kind of not granting people's wishes just because he thinks it'll get out of control.
I like that setup for... I should say I like that reveal of, his early evilness. I was like, oh, well, that is fun. But that inspired her to run away and cry and think about her dad and then wish on a star. And then everything just falls into place.
I mean, have you seen the early princess movies and how dramatic they are?
To be honest, I haven't seen them in probably over 20 years. And I do like where she lands, where you don't need someone to tell you that your dreams can come true. You don't need someone to make your dreams come true. You can make your own dreams come true. That's fun, but that's the beginning and end. Where's the meat?
Yeah. And I mean, I also like that your dreams is what makes you happy and what makes you excited about life. But yes, you're right. Again, all right. Duh. Now what else? What else you got? That was basically what the whole movie was about.
I mean, I guess it's just endlessly ironic because, especially for maybe the generation of 35 to 25 maybe, that kind of era of folks right now growing up with your 90s Disney animation, there is no doubt something magical there. But Disney's the reason why that stuff isn't magical anymore. Like these productions that are happening now, including Marvel and whatnot, they're the reason these things aren't magical because they're creatively bankrupt and have no ideas and hire talentless people.
Damn.
But they're also making a movie about someone crushing a society's dreams or really holding them hostage and then manipulating them, which is maybe worse. You want your dreams to come true that I stole from you? Go get that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a little funny, I think. And it's hard not to see. But I do appreciate the try. I must say.
And I really, really appreciate, back again with the seven dwarf characters. I appreciate that Snow White was, the first Disney film. So I just kind of appreciate that homage even further than it really needed to be. That was nice. That was nice. And it's definitely one of these situations where, normally in Disney movies, especially the classics, right? They're hidden. They're proper Easter eggs. Here it's a little more in your face. So this is a time to really kind of hone in on the less is more situation. Make that shit punch, And then make the other ones a little more hidden. If you're going to reference them, try to make it a little more obscure, I guess. Don't just say Bambi. I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. Yeah, or Never Ever Land, or when they reference Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Like, don't say it. Just kind of show it. Like, when he's flipping that whatever thing that was, that he was the dream or the orb. I don't know what he was flipping when he said that. Just kind of have a glimpse of someone flying or something. Or the Mary Poppins reference. An umbrella sticking out or something. Like, just let it be hidden. By the end of this, though, I did kind of think this was a fairy godmother and maybe Evil Queen's mirror origin story. But if it wasn't developed fully that way. And I would have kind of liked it to be if it was going to do something. I mean, Asha here gets a wand like the fairy godmother has. She even wears the fairy godmother's outfit. I mean, it's identical to the fairy godmother's cloak with the little pink ribbon. And at one point where she's like shooting spells, I guess, at King Magnifico, one of them turns into a pink dress. Like something she shot at turns into a pink dress. Very similar to the one that Cinderella's mice helped make. So there's something there to kind of tie it with that, but, you know, she doesn't look like the fairy godmother. And I don't know, it just doesn't fit how I would want it to fit if this was what they were doing.
Yeah, they definitely didn't lay the groundwork for any of that. See, this is what I'm talking about. When you go a little over the top with these cameos or references, all of a sudden things like that start to feel like, are they trying to say something all of a sudden with this stuff? Is he the magic mirror dude kind of thing? It's just like, I'm a little confused by this movie. It's got some really cute numbers and all, but it gets a little lost in its celebratory nature or overt commercialization. I will say the worst number, absolute terrible number. Like one of the worst things I've ever seen come out of Disney.
Nothing is worse than Lightyear.
Lightyear's pretty bad, but they try to alienate that over to Pixar's farm. But the musical number with Asha and when she meets the star and all the animals, that was not okay. Everything that happened there was just not okay.
I kind of liked it.
That was like some shit out of Strays.
That was some shit that was like everyone was on drugs here. And even the mushrooms were stinging. It was weird. I kind of liked it. I didn't hate it. I hated the chicken sequence a little too much. It's like unnecessary.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid too.
It was pretty stupid.
What do you think of the goat? We've had this obsession in the last like almost 30 years with these sidekick characters, and he kind of shared the spotlight with a star.
I don't think his voice matched his goatness. I didn't like the voice. I think if we would have gave him a different voice that fit him a little better, I would have liked him as a sidekick a lot more. Because, I mean, goats are cute. At least animated goats are cute. Not real goats. Real goats are a little terrifying in my opinion. But sloths, animated goats, adorable. So I think it could have been one of the cooler of the sidekicks. Especially that we've had lately. We haven't had many good sidekicks. I mean, even in Encanto, like, we didn't have a sidekick there. So that kind of brings the voice acting into question for me. Which I normally don't have a problem with the voice acting. Typically, I feel like it fits. One of the most jarring ones lately has probably been Mario and Anna Taylor-Joy. Because they're really either just okay, or maybe you notice the actor's voice a little too much. But it's still kind of okay. You know, you learn to get past that, especially if the movie's engaging and good. But here, I don't know. I couldn't get past it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about giving animals like some kind of sophisticated voice.
Yeah, it's like when you give your pet a human name, like George. Who names their pets George? Yeah.
But then we mess with them and say they're distinguished gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm also really disappointed in the soundtrack.
The music was a little off.
Yes, and especially if you were gonna go hard with these references and Easter eggs and homages, you should have done a Wish Upon a Star rendition.
Thought that was obvious.
Yes, that should have been here if you were gonna go ahead and spoon feed us and tear at our hearts a little bit with some of that. Especially also that's one of Disney's songs, I guess, that's kind of played with their logo when a Disney movie comes on. It's like a slower version of that.
Yeah, they obviously revere the shit out of that song.
So something could have been done there. I mean, honestly, the last hit we had with a Disney song was Encanto with We Don't Talk About Bruno and that Pressure song. I mean, those were good. Those were catchy. Those were what you blast in the car. That Pressure song, I can't sing the whole thing without getting a knot in my throat. It's like, oh man, that was too real. And I mean, I don't know what's going on. Why we can't get more catchy songs here.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking back, throughout the 90s, every single one of these animated movies had bangers,
Yes.
had memory-defining moments.
Friend Like Me, Aladdin. Any Beauty and the Beast song, really, for me. And then Lion King had some great songs. Mulan, the Hans song.
Even Tarzan,
Tarzan.
kind of having this more of a proper soundtrack instead of a musical numbers.
Yeah, and even, Little Mermaid. Yeah, I'm just forgetting all the Disney movies now, but Frozen had also one of the best soundtracks. I know that's not, in the 90s, but let's talk about the OG here that they were trying to pay an homage to, Snow White, the dwarf song. We could have made them sing a song.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Like working together in the kitchen where they were or something. That kind of has a little similar tune to the Hi Ho, Hi Hum. I don't know what the song's called.
Yeah, they should have stuck with something. They threw a bunch of ideas at the board and stuck it all. There was just no quality control. There was no coherency, no through line. The through line was standing up to oppressors. But Disney's oppressing us by depressing us. These shitty movies.
Damn. Was it just me, or did the start of the film with the whole storybook, like literal storybook, give you Shrek vibes?
You tell me they're referencing non-Disney shit now? No, I didn't think about that. I feel like that almost goes the other way, where Shrek is referencing the Disney thing.
Yes, for sure. But I don't know, I was trying to rack my brain about how many Disney movies actually start out with a storybook element. And none of them do, that I can think of. Maybe some do and I just don't remember, because who actually remembers like the very, very start, You remember the intro to the character, or you remember the song or whatever, but you don't remember the very first 5 seconds. So I don't know, it just gave me major Shrek vibes. Yeah, like you said, Shrek references a lot of Disney stuff. Maybe we should reference Shrek referencing Disney. Just me? I don't know. Alright, just me. What about the star itself and how it visually looked? Was the star cute? The star is arguably the sidekick, along with the goat.
I don't love how the star looks, but I think it's fine. I think it works. I do like that it doesn't speak. I think that's sort of bold for Disney, because Disney likes making annoying characters. And it just reminds you that there is this element of creativity under the hood at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
You could maybe even argue it's a little bit out of place in this movie, because everything else is over the top. And then this thing's a little more strange and uncertain.
Yeah.
It's a chubby star. That's weird. I like how it ran into a sweater and it became part of its body language. It unthreaded it and it became part of its body language. All right, that you're really on to something there. And then they keep that up the entire film, but everything else just feels so pointless. Everything feels pointless. Nothing feels dangerous. I almost wish we just got more of Magnifico. Why does he fear some kind of revolution? Where's he from? I thought it was kind of weird that they explicitly said this movie also takes place in the Mediterranean Sea. I was like, that's a little weird to just say that outright. I feel like it's usually implied or just doesn't matter.
Or there's something there we're not, totally getting with the references.
Oh, sure, yeah, that could be a reference itself.
Yeah, but yeah, we need we don't need. It would have been nice to see some kind of explanation of his on why he got so jaded all of a sudden. Because I think in the storybook that they read to us in the beginning, he wanted to help people and make their dreams come true. Something happened along the way. Someone rebelled. Someone did something to him. It's like why people are so interested in Hitler and his life and what happened to him as a child, those kinds of things.
And everybody will tell you what happened to him.
Yeah. That'd be cool, but that's a little too much for Disney.
Maybe, but they already kind of opened that door. The book starts off with Magnifico. Asha's obsessed with him and wants to be his apprentice, and then everyone wants their dreams to come true and stuff. So we revolve around Magnifico the whole movie, and we get quite a bit of screen time with him, and sometimes just him.
Yeah.
Versus these other classic Disney princess-oriented films where, we don't get hardly anything with the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of personality out of everything else.
Except Gaston.
Gaston's not a bad guy, though.
Gaston is a villain.
Gaston's not a villain.
Gaston is so a villain. You ever see Mickey's villain house?
Is he there? I know you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? He is definitely there. Although sometimes the Beast is there too, which I never got. I think in the intro to that show or whatever that was, I think it was a show, you saw the Beast.
Yeah, the Beast and Gaston are both not villains.
No, they're both villains. The Beast converts, but Gaston is definitely a villain. And the Beast, it's the whole reason why he got turned into a beast, because he was being a dick and a villain.
Maybe. I don't know about the history of the Beast, but if I was Gaston and I saw the Beast, I'd want to go kill him, That's what I think normal humans are going to want to do. This is an abomination that needs to be killed or contained in some way and studied.
He is contained. He's in his house. He's in his castle.
Yeah,
doing
but he
nothing.
can leave whenever he wants. That's not okay.
I don't think he can.
Oh, okay. Well, then he needs to put signs out saying that he's trapped here. We all good.
All right.
Gaston's just a ladies' man, and he can't have Belle, so he's trying to go after her. He's not a villain.
You must have not paid attention to Gaston's song. I'm going to print out the lyrics.
Okay. I'll read them.
But you're right. We don't get a lot of villain history, a lot of villain screen time, a chance to see why they are the way they are.
Yeah, I could have seen a Seven Dwarves kind of musical number, totally, after you saying that. That's good. That would have been good. They should have honed in on that. Just make the Snow White thing over the top. Let's just focus in on that. Because, the funny thing, if you were to do that, was nobody even likes Snow White. No one cares about Snow White. They like the dwarves, right? The dwarves are obviously the stars of the show. But there's not this commercialization within Snow White like there is so many other things. It's definitely like one of the lesser princess stories.
For sure. I think she's probably my least favorite Disney princess.
There really might have been something really interesting to hone in on a Snow White Seven Dwarves flavored film, just in its entirety. Not a retelling, not a reimagining of any kind, but just a lot of that flavor, specifically just that.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, maybe. Give a little more flavor to these characters, because like that one girl who represents Happy, she didn't represent Happy.
Exactly. I couldn't even tell. I just knew she was happy by process of elimination.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah. I needed this girl to freaking spit out sunshine.
Could have fooled me, really. She seemed more introverted than the introvert.
That's hilarious.
They went above and beyond telling you that she's the introvert. I don't remember her name, but it was off. This movie
needed to pick whether it's going with the whole Easter egg and fully embrace everything from the story to the soundtrack to the characters themselves, because there was a lot lacking here. Or if you weren't going to do that, be a little bit more surprising with the Easter eggs and just kind of let us find them out like you let us have for the past 100 years with all these other movies. Let us find them. Let us, start posting on social media like, hey, did you guys see, this Disney or this Mickey Mouse being drawn out with the pen, Because that could have been fun too. And not just put a random deer in there and say, hey, Bambi.
I think personality would have fixed a lot of the issues here. It would have made some of the motivation a little more clear. All right, man. Well, thank you for watching that movie with me. That was a talk.
You're welcome.
Do you have a budget guess for me today?
Yeah, I gave it $95 million, but I have no clue because I imagine a 100-year celebration, you'd want to spend more money into it, but at the same time, it was on the shorter side of movies, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, obviously the budget didn't go into the writing or overall vision of the film, right? Definitely went into the animation.
Yeah.
It says here that it was about 175 million to 200 million.
What?
So
That's insane.
that's a lot.
That's a lot of money for this.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh no.
And it went on to make about $240 million. So it's hurting.
Oof.
Hurting big time. I kept asking myself, what would Walt Disney think of this movie?
What would John Wilkes Booth do?
Yeah, what would he do?
I don't know. What would Walt Disney say if he saw this shit?
Yeah.
I think he'd fire some people, honestly. He'd say, "What have you done? Why would you put this out? Did you not obviously see what I'm doing here?" Although he would be very impressed with the animation.
Yeah, I wonder if Walt would have been like a hardcore purist in 2D animation forever and ever.
I don't think so. If he can build what he has built, I think he can appreciate new things and appreciate just newness in general.
All right, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for over on Letterboxd with only 63,000 people.
Oof.
They weighed in at a 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
That seems about right to me.
I gave it a 2.
Yeah, I definitely...
But talking about it with you, nothing really sparked me to stay at a 2 or even bring it up. I'm even leaning towards making it a 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'll stick with the 2 for now.
It's an incredibly unremarkable film.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. Maybe just for the celebratory nature of it. But otherwise, no, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody.
It gets a little lost in itself. All right, guys, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Filmistines. Remember, we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, all the goods. Remember to leave nice reviews, comments, thoughts, and ideas over on our Patreon and all of our social medias. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you. And go ahead and subscribe for $1. But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed the discussion, gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching, keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines, signing off.